Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Brittany. I love to read and talk about it, so you should definitely subscribe and stick around. We can all be best friends. If you are returning, thank you so much for coming back, and I'm very excited for today. I feel like I say this every video, but I just love talking to you guys. I'm going to be going over today some fall book recommendations of books that I have already read. If you haven't seen my last video yet, it is me going through my fall TBR of 30 books that I do want to read this fall. And I obviously haven't read any of those yet, so I can't really vouch for any of them, but it is still a really good video if you're looking for some additional ideas after this video. So definitely go ahead and give that a watch after this video. Finish this video and then you can watch it. I'll link it literally in the description, and it should pop up at the end of this video. That way you can just click her. Now the only downside to this is I don't have any of the physical books. I do own them all. However, as you can see right here, you don't get any glimpses of my bookshelf like you normally do. That is because all of my books are packed and moved, and I am moving in. My lease is up in about a week and a half, so actually by the time you see this video it might be only a couple more days even. So I don't have them, as you can see, and I forgot to grab them before I moved everything. I remembered to grab all my fall TBR ones, but I wasn't thinking about fall book recommendations, so I will be referencing my phone for the list and everything, and I will be putting pictures of them here. I feel like it's no different. I feel like you guys don't care, but we're gonna go ahead and jump right in. The first three books that I do have are all by Carrie Lake. Give me 1 second. My SD card is running out. This is nothing new at this point. Like, this happens every video. It's either my battery or my SD card. This is so stupid. Okay, we are back in business. As I was saying, so the first three books are actually all by Carrie Lake. This is probably a surprise to no one if you are a subscriber on this channel or follow me on any of my other social media platforms. I love Carrie Lake so much. I love her writing, and I think genuinely any single book by her, even if it's something I haven't read, I will still recommend, I think, as a fall TBR book, because she just writes very like atmospheric writing. Like, it's very gothic or moody or dark, and she really can write in a way that transports you completely into the book. But the three that I do have are Nightshade, Nocticadia, and Anathema. I personally feel like Nightshade is very underrated by Carrie Lake. This is a duology. They're both out. I've only read the first one so far, but I think this fits the like fall and Halloween to a T. This book has purgatory. We're reading about demons, angels, witches, cults, all kinds of just spooky things like that. The main male character, so hot. He quite literally would burn the entire world down for his girl. Like, he is that type of man. It's definitely a slow plot and a slow burn romance. Honestly, any book by Carrie Lake I feel like is like that. I personally love it. I am like a slow burn girly, but if you don't like that, I understand why you wouldn't like this. But the plot is also very slow in a lot of her books. Like, it takes a while to get to like the actual point. But because of the way she writes is so atmospheric, I feel like I personally don't notice or care, because I'm enjoying everything else about the book. Like, it's not just the plot that I'm reading it for, it's also the entire environment and concept that I'm loving as well. So this follows Farron. She's lost everybody in her life, and she kind of has been having really strange dreams that leave her questioning. Her father was obsessed and studied like cults and ancient religions and everything, and he ended up finding this place called Nightshade, which is essentially purgatory. And that's where our main male character Van Croy dwells, and he's earned the nickname of like Reaper, Death. Then you also get like an alternative timeline and narrative with Lustina and the Baron, and you're kind of learning about them and their relationship as well. So you're following them as well as Farron and Van Croy in Nightshade, because Farron ends up going to Nightshade after something happens with her father, and she believes that she's gonna find him there. So she pretty much essentially like has to die to get to Nightshade, and oh my god, it is so good. I'm just so obsessed. I definitely can't wait to read the second book. I actually probably should add that to my fall TBR. I don't know why I didn't. I'm pretty sure I just completely forgot about it in the moment. That's actually really funny, because if you watch that video, I literally was like, oh, I'm probably gonna add things as TBR like within the next week. Here I am literally doing that. Then we have Nocticadia, which is one that I will always probably recommend. I'm pretty sure I recommended it last fall, or maybe it was on my TBR last fall, but either way, I will always recommend this book in general, but also for this time of the year. If you love the professor student trope, you are gonna eat this book up. So this follows our female main character who she ends up losing her mother due to this mysterious like illness parasite situation. And long story short, and this is not a spoiler, but she watches these worms, these parasites come out of her mom's mouth and kill her. And she pretty much is led to believe that she like saw these things, she imagined them, she's crazy, nobody else like saw it. She feels crazy. Fast forward, she ends up getting an invite, a full scholarship to Nocticadia University. This is where she meets Professor Deverick, who is actually studying these parasites that killed her mom. Like, he's doing like the leading research on it, so she's doing anything she can to get in this lab and kind of like learn more about this parasite. And like she's like, oh my god, like I'm not crazy. But like the romance is so good, the tension is so good. There's some crazy things that happen with her phone and herself in the classroom. It's so good. I definitely recommend it. It's such a good like professor student romance, but with like this little like gothic romance element as well. I don't really want to say like fantasy, but it just has like these like parasites and stuff, so I guess that's kind of where I was going with that. But it's definitely more romance like based, but I definitely would recommend it. And then my third Kari Lake book that I would recommend, and it is my all-time favorite by her, it is Anathema. I just recently read this one. You guys probably saw the vlog. And the second book actually just recently came out, so I'm so excited because I am obsessed with them and I cannot wait to be back in the world with Maveth and Zavander. I don't know what it was, but that book I just loved so much. Now I know I said all of her books are like slow burn, slow plot. This one I feel like was excruciatingly slow compared to the rest, but I loved every second of it because the first like half of it, or not even half, I guess the first like 25 to 30% you're in her village, and there's just a lot of like crazy stuff going on. They're very like, if you're a girl and you're too smart, you're a witch and you're gonna get sent into the forest, you know? Like you're a sinner according to them if you do anything wrong. The world might take a little bit to understand because when I first started it, I was kind of like, ooh, like I don't really know exactly what's going on, especially Zavander's first couple like POVs. I was like, I'm so confused what's going on. I promise, stick with it because it'll all just like click into place once you get 10-15% into it. And oh my god, it's so good. So we have Maveth who lives in a village, and it's surrounded by the Witch's Knell, which is this forest that it's like the Eating Woods. Pretty much that's where they send sinners to die. Whatever's in those woods, you don't come back, you know? It's kind of giving like One Dark Window, which, by the way, I don't think I put on here. I did not put the Shepherd King duology on here, I think, because I did it last year, but just like pencil that in. But I'm not gonna like do a whole thing about it. So certain circumstances happen and Maveth has to enter these woods and goes through a portal. And this is where we meet Zavander. I mean, not in that exact moment, obviously some things happen, but this is where we meet Zavander, who is our main male character. And he's nicknamed the Scorpion. He can literally will like scorpions out of his hands. He's a cold, calculated assassin. However, Maveth, her blood could be the cure for his curse. I just really recommend this book if you are, one, already a Kari Lake fan, or two, are looking for like a really good like gothic fantasy type book. This one I would say is more fantasy heavy rather than romance heavy, but there are really good romance aspects. But this is like a they don't kiss until way far into the book type of thing. So if that is not your vibe, I probably wouldn't recommend it. I'm telling you that now going into it because I don't want you to give it like a 1 star because it's a slow burn. Like I'm telling you right now, if you do not like slow burn, you're probably not gonna like it. Oh, the next book that we do have on my list is A Dowry of Blood. This book took me by surprise. I was not expecting to love this book as much as I did, and I ended up reading it for a video, Booktubers Choose My TBR, and I think I rated that 4.75. I found that so enjoyable. It was so unique to anything I've ever read. I believe it was in second person, which I've never read a book like that as well. So I just really enjoyed it. This book is written in the like perspective of Constanta and her life before, during, and after Dracula, where they also meet Magdalena and Alexei, I believe are their names. It's such a short but very, very captivating story. It's like very lyrical, but not flowery. It's a really good journey because you're literally reading this in the form of letters, essentially, to Dracula. I just found it to be really, really interesting, and I think it's a book that everybody should at least give it a shot at least once in their life if they do like those style books. So definitely give it a shot. I definitely recommend it. I loved it way more than I even thought I would. The next book we do have is Deadly Occupants. I did read this last year for fall, and I would say if you are like a fan of Pretty Little Liars, you probably will love this book. I'm pretty sure that's how it's actually marketed. It's like Pretty Little Liars meets like Haunted Mansion ghost vibes. I really just found this enjoyable. I read it so fast, and it did have like certain aspects that I wasn't expecting, and I was like, no way, like I was not expecting that. That's so cool. This follows Blair and her 3 best friends who end up going to a haunted house like tour on Halloween. Something happens there, and soon after they return home, things kind of start getting weird, and they think that something has attached itself to Blair at that haunted house. So it starts hunting her and like all of them, as well as like things from her past, and it was really, really good. Like, it actually really got me. I really enjoyed that. I think I might even possibly give it a reread at some point because I really did enjoy that one a lot. The next couple I have to look up on my Goodreads really quick because I didn't write any of my notes about them, because I'm sorry, but I cannot be expected to remember every little thing about every little thing, you know? So I typically like to write out little like notes about each book, but I forgot to do it for these, so if you see me reading down here, that's why. But the next is Gallant by V.E. Schwab. I think this book is very good for fall because it's very like moody, whimsical, like a dark aesthetic, and I feel like it's very easy to get captivated into this story. It honestly gives me a little bit of like Coraline vibes, especially with the whole like house design on the cover. I don't know if that was her intentions or whatever, but those are the vibes that I definitely got from it. This was my first book ever by V.E. Schwab, and the writing, it was a little bit slow at first. It was like slower to get into, but I still enjoyed it very, very much because of the writing style. I feel like her writing is very, very beautiful, and I think because it gave off those like gothic, moody vibes with like this estate, the slow pacing just felt like it fit with everything else going on. So this follows Olivia, who's a non-verbal teen girl who was raised in an orphanage. One day she receives a letter from her uncle inviting her to come stay at his estate, Gallant. However, it is the one place that her presumably dead mother warned her to never enter, like to never go there, never set foot into Gallant. She ends up going, and when she first arrives, her cousin is very like insistent on her leaving and is like just very rude to her, does not want her there, and is like, get out. And it turns out Gallant has a lot of secrets that she is just determined to uncover. Oh, I also forgot, she can also see like ghosts, and like I can't remember if she can like communicate with them or anything, but like she can see them around her. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that because I feel like everything else you can kind of like, I don't want to give away too much, but I really, really liked it. If you're a V. Schwab fan, I feel like you'll really, really like it. Or if you're a Coraline fan, I feel like you might like it because it did kind of give off some of those vibes. Not really, but like also at the same time. Actually, it gave me like Coraline with like Haunting of Hill House, like those kind of vibes together. Okay, the next book is a book I actually very recently read. It is Slewfoot. I think this is the perfect book to read in fall, Halloween time. If you do love a like gothic paranormal romance, or I'm sorry, fantasy, oh my gosh, Slewfoot. I am obsessed. I still need to order this book because I want a physical copy so bad. I love this book so much. This is a tale of bewitchery. I was so invested in the story, like at no point could I tell where it was going. And like the writing, you kind of see Abatha's like slow descent into madness. Like she starts off as this like sweet, like innocent kind of girl and everything, and you see her slowly descending into like this anger that like it's built up in her from the town and the townspeople just being completely terrible. It's another book where it's very like, I'm gonna say like religious psychosis type situation, like religious trauma. Even if you have your hair too long, you're a witch type of thing, like stuff like that, you know. Let me look up the actual like premise of this book so I can make sure I like do it justice. So it follows Abatha, who is a young spirited English woman. She arrives at a Puritan colony betrothed to a stranger, only to become quickly widowed when her husband dies under mysterious circumstances. So she's alone in this society where they don't respect women, pretty much. And she's determined with what little freedom she has to just make it work, continue keeping the farm and everything for her, like, dead husband, to kind of, like, honor him. However, a powerful spirit was awoken and kind of has been, like, lingering around. And he's trying to find his own role in the world. His name's Samson. I'm obsessed with him. So both Abatha and Slewfoot must swiftly decide who they are and what they must do to survive in a world intent on hanging anyone who meddles in the dark arts. Oh, it's so good. I loved this book so, so much. Like I said, if you love like a gothic, witchy book, I think you're gonna love this. It was a 5-star for me. I was obsessed with it. Up next, we do have They Never Learn by Lane Fargo. This was another one that I recently read. I was reading like kind of like feminine rage books, and I just think this was so fun because it was a psychological thriller, and long story short, it is about a woman who kills men on campus to get revenge. Like, once a year, she kind of picks a student or a faculty member or somebody who assaults women or harasses women or does something to women, and she kills them as like revenge. And she's very like smart and witty and good at what she does. I literally can't say anything else about this book without giving away everything. But if you love psychological thrillers and you're looking for something kind of new, because I feel like everybody's just reading Freida McFadden, and if you don't want to read Freida McFadden, if you guys know, I just don't really like her books. I highly recommend this one. I thought it was so interesting, and it had a lot of good like things that I wasn't expecting, so I definitely recommend it. Then we have Hollow Heathens by Nicole Fiorina. Oh my gosh, I actually have to put the second book for this one on my fall TBR too. I suck. I completely forgot about sequels apparently when I was making my fall TBR. This book, another one that is just so atmospheric. The town is pretty much Halloween 24/7 if you think about it that way. This book is just like hauntingly beautiful, right? This follows Fallon. She ends up receiving a letter from her grandfather asking her to kind of come to the town of Weeping Hollow to help him. And Weeping Hollow is a town that nobody really knows it exists unless you know. It's like if you know, you know, I guess. And it's full of, you know, well, not full of, but it has masked men, there's rival witch covens, and as I was saying earlier, it's pretty much like Halloween 24/7. It's cozy, it's eerie, it's atmospheric. We've got Fallon, and then we have Julian, who is one of the masked men. He has a curse, and I can't exactly remember off the top of my head, but I believe if anyone sees his face, they see their worst fear, and like it kills them. Like, you die by your worst fear, but like you see it in your head. I might have gotten that slightly mixed up, but I'm pretty sure that's like 90% of what it is. And she kind of wants to help break this curse as well for him. And oh my god, it is so good. I have to read the second one. It's called Bone Island, and I'm very, very intrigued about that one. So hopefully I can get to that this fall, because now that it's an add-on to my fall TBR, I don't want to like bump it above something else, but I definitely recommend this one. I'm really hoping I'm doing these books justice. Definitely take my word on these recommendations. Even if I'm not explaining them that well, definitely take my word for it and like go add them on your Goodreads and like look them up on your own time as well. And I feel like you might like them. Because if you're watching this video, you're obviously looking for something, you know, fall-y and atmospheric and all of that stuff. So I feel like these are all gonna fit the vibe. Up next, I feel like this one is very, very obvious on a fall, autumn, Halloween list, and it is both Phantasma and Enchantra. Now, you don't have to read Phantasma to read Enchantra, but I would recommend it because they're both like sisters, you know what I mean? And there are things mentioned in Enchantra about her sister and Phantasma, but it's like very, very minimal. Like, say you only care about the plot of Enchantra, for example, it's fine. You can skip Phantasma if you really don't want to read it, but I personally feel like you should read both. I think I liked Phantasma a little more, so I don't know why you'd want to skip it, but the best way I can describe this, if you are a Caraval fan, it's Caraval but haunted houses. That's literally like, we've got the two sisters, we've got this mysterious house that appears, and okay, so first one is more like Deadly Games and more like Caraval vibes. So it says, welcome to Phantasma. There are only 2 rules of the game: stay alive and don't fall in love. So Ophelia's sister disappears. And so Ophelia must enter Phantasma. It kind of, you see what I'm saying? It kind of gives like Caraval. And there's a deadly contest in this haunted mansion, and like the trials are insane. Like, they're not kidding when they say deadly trials, because they are insane. And our main male character is like a phantom. I'm pretty sure he's, well, no, actually I'm pretty sure that's a spoiler, but I think he's like a demon or a phantom or something. And like, are you kidding? That's so fun. And then Enchantra, the long story short on that one is it is a deadly game of hide and seek, but it's also a marriage of convenience. So I really, really liked that one, but I just think I really loved Phantasma because it was higher stakes. Like, each trial was different, whereas Enchantra, it was just, they were hiding and running, you know what I mean? So it did get a little repetitive at some parts, but I would still 100% recommend it. Then I just thought this one was completely fitting to put in if you are looking for a dark romance to read this time of the year and you haven't read it yet. I would definitely recommend the Devil's Night series by Penelope Douglas. And I would only recommend this because it literally takes place on October 30th. So how fitting is that? And it's pretty much the four horsemen, just guys who went to high school in this town. They come back every year and they terrorize the town with masks. However, things happen and 3 of them get sent to jail. And they're finally released from jail and they're coming back to terrorize the girl that they believe is responsible for sending them to jail. But the funny thing is they all have like love interests in each of their book. And like they all kind of like played a part in this. So they're all just like constantly getting revenge on these people. I feel like it's really good like beginner dark romance. If you have been reading a lot of dark romance, you might kind of like roll your eyes at this because actually Larry Reads, I feel like she describes this book perfectly whenever she talks about it. She says it's pretty much like men who peaked in high school. And I was like, that is literally the best description I have heard of that book. But at the same time, I love it, you know? Like, it's so enjoyable. And this is one of those books where it's like, you're going to hate a character for the longest time until you get to his book. And then all of a sudden, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with you. But with that being said, I am a Will Grayson girly, so I feel like everybody's a Damon girly. I do like Damon. I like Damon a lot, but for some reason, I'm a Will Grayson girly, and I don't know why. That's just who I picked at the moment, and I stuck with it because I'm loyal like that, you know? Then if you're wanting something really fun, more like rom-com-y vibes, just a good time to read, enjoyable, fast-paced, like a good laugh, I would recommend the Ex Hex by Erin Sterling. This was just funny. It was a good time. It is following, what is her name? I think Vivi. She ends up putting an accidental hex on her ex. And she thinks nothing of it. She's like, oh, whatever. It didn't work. Like her and her cousin, I think, were drinking or something. They're like, oh, let's just hex him. Haha. Just girly things. Honestly, same. Honestly, same. And anyways, the hex ends up apparently working, but they don't realize until 9 years later when he comes to this town, and all of a sudden things start going like AWOL. They have to kind of like work together to break this hex, and I don't know. It was such a good time. Like, it's just a cute, witchy, fun time. Like, don't go into it expecting anything crazy, but if you're wanting like a fun palette cleanser, just a good time, definitely read that. I have to read the rest of the series. I haven't continued it, but I really, really liked it. Maybe I'll read one of those this time too, this season. Let me just add another book to my TBR. I should have filmed this first. And the last book that I do have on this fall book recommendation video of just, you know, some books that I would recommend that I have actually read and can vouch for. And it is The Exorcists House by Nick Roberts. This is a thriller, and I actually found this to be so interesting. I'm very, very picky with thrillers, and I really, really did enjoy this one. It's the summer of 1994, and we have psychologist Daniel Hill. He buys this farmhouse. This is how it always starts like this. It's him, his wife, and then their teenage daughter. They discover a hidden room in the basement that has like crucifixes. It's like nailed shut and everything. So of course, what do? They open the damn thing. Local legends about the previous owners for performing exorcisms come to light, but by then all hell has broken loose. It's so good. If you're wanting like a good thriller horror, I definitely would recommend that one if you like paranormal vibes. I love a good like ghost story, demon story, anything like that. I love like paranormal. So I would definitely recommend that. if you do like paranormal as well. Hopefully this video helped somebody. Let me know if you did add any of these onto your list. I wish I was more prepared. I wish I had the books, but honestly, it just completely slipped my mind, and that's okay. You guys still could see exactly what I was talking about, so let me know if you guys have any additional recommendations for me. I mean, again, I do have a list now of like 35 since I just added a bunch, but I'm always looking to add books, if not for this year, then next. And if you haven't watched that video yet, go watch it now. A link will pop up or it'll be in my description. So there is nothing else I have to say to you guys. I'm so excited for fall. Let me know if you guys are doing anything fun this fall, any fun bucket list items. And don't forget to subscribe and give this video a giant thumbs up. And I will see you guys next week. Bye!